Yellow Dark Center is it's very responsive to long days, facultative long day plant. And so this is a particular trial image showing you the influence of the production photoperiod. And if you have your longer days, you're going to clearly see where your flower stem, your inflorescence is going to be taller. And this just reinforces those critical PGR treatments. On the left-hand side, you can see where you're actually doing some degree of control with shorter days, and some growers have actually used shorter days as a PGR alternative. But in my opinion, you kind of take away from the big, robust look of the plant for garden performance. So our message here is, when you're producing this, you're coming out of those natural short days, your flower stems stretch certainly is a factor. So be mindful when doing the PGRs. Now, this is the chart and guide. We've got this on the web. We've had this out, I believe, since 2017, 2018, where we featured different ways to skin a catfish. I don't say skin a cat anymore. I say skin a catfish. But you can see here, there's very different profiles when you're looking at how to grow the plant. If you just pinch it, you're gonna have these very extended shoots. These lateral breaks are gonna really be a little challenging. And we know some growers do it this way. They're just comfortable with that. Maybe they use a little temperature to manage it. Maybe they use some short days. They're just anti-PGR. You can get a look. You can get that multi-shoot look. But it's quite challenging for the majority of folks. The second image here just shows you the challenge when you don't do that final treatment to kind of manage your flower stem stretch. So that's big there. That's why we have that caution statement. Is you want to make sure you're doing the 3 regimented protocols. Our spring protocol, where you're doing 3 drenches. Our summer protocol is 3 drenches, but it's done a little higher concentration just because of warmer night temperatures. And then we also have the Syngenta hybrid. We're going to get into the details here. We have a little cautionary statement about that hybrid. That's the one we really recommend for folks that they're busy. They've got a lot of things going on, but it really does settle down the plant early on in production, so they're not being so reactive. They can actually be very proactive with Sunfinity. The final one is a B9 Cycocell or Altercell tank mix, where you're really not comfortable doing bonsai drenches using an injector or however you would do the drench. You're just using those 2 chemistries as foliar sprays. So we've got the kind of the spec there if you do those treatments, and then the grid where we have those specific regimented plans according to the look of the plant on the second page of the technical document. And so here you see where you're doing your plug production. You pretty much have got this 2 part per million bonsai drench or sprinch. You're transplanting 4 weeks after sowing. And then you're doing the pinch roughly about 10 days to 2 weeks after transplant. And then you can get into those specific regimens. So just briefly here, when you don't do that 3rd treatment, that's where you get a little more growth. When you do the 3 spring treatments, a little lower concentration, this is kind of what you're getting, that look of the plant. You can also do 5 parts per million, a little bit higher in the summertime, maybe when you're growing this for June or July sales. The one big one that we have here, the Syngenta hybrid, is where we encourage, just like a potted sunflower, a 5,000 part per million B9 spray early. And that just kind of settles the chassis down, really controls the internodes well. It keeps the plant nice and toned. And then you can do those bonsai drenches when you see the bud and when you see cracked color. We feel this is a great one if you're adopting that strategy of double Sunfinity early, Yellow Dark Center summer, and then double coming back in with double in the end. And then you've got your tank mix sprays here as an alternative. So there's plenty of ways to do it. That's the one thing about Syngenta protocols is we're going to give you options. We know there's different folks out there, some that don't like to do drenches, some that just do sprays, some that don't do any PGRs. But we wanted to make sure you saw the look of the plant. We also have some costing here. So this is the retail costing of the chemistry. So you can see that this is the this is actually the retail prices of those chemistries from the year that this was published, in the cost per pot. So you can see you're anywhere between 5 cents to 10 cents based on those pricing. Now, of course, some folks are using generics where they can keep the cost down. We just wanted to make sure you were aware, because we oftentimes heard, I'm spending so much money doing these drenches. Well, when you look at this by cost per pot, you're really seeing minimal costing when it comes to the chemistry.